World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Happy Tuesday. It is always such a pleasure to be in this space for us to share, learn, grow, and hear bold stories. Happy Tuesday again. I'm sorry. I'm a little low energy today, so I'm working my way up there. But this happens, it's a part of life. You just have to adjust. So I'm excited to be in this space. And the guest that we have tonight, she is an amazing woman. Like all my guests, they're absolutely fabulous and they're doing great things, doing things that makes them come alive. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on this woman. She decided to just do it. She is a social worker. She's a hairstylist. She's an entrepreneur. She's a Black woman. And she believes in herself. And we're here tonight, hopefully will inspire, will impact, and help others to recognize you don't have to have it all together to make the first move. Get out of your head. Stop listening to what everyone else has to say. Focus on you and do whatever it is that sets your soul on fire. Oftentimes, we have the naysayers. We have folks who are experts in trying to tell you what to do. But in the end, you have to give account to you. I also love to say, we all experience challenges. Life, that's what makes life so interesting because we grow. In our dark moments, we find the light. So without further ado, but before I invite this guest on, there is this quote from Mark Zuckerberg. The biggest risk is not taking any. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not to take a risk. It is okay to take risk. It is okay to dive. You'll see where you land eventually. But when you decide not to act, you're only cheating yourself. So without further ado, I am going to welcome our lovely Miss Symone Wilkinson.
Hi.
Hi.
That was an amazing introduction. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess you're going to give me some of the energy tonight.
Yes, I am. I just came straight from work, guys. As she said, I am a social worker, but I am currently a dean at a charter school. So this is my second job. So I'm coming straight from my babies. So my energy is here.
Awesome. And I'm coming straight from work to sell. Didn't even get a chance to change, but it's life. We just make it happen.
Definitely.
That's what we do as women, right? We're multitaskers, we're risk takers, and we are just phenomenal and making it happen.
That's
so
right.
I know that you briefly introduced yourself, but there is so much more to you. Why don't you tell the viewers who you are?
Okay, so I'm Symone Wilkinson. I'm 33 years old. I am currently working at a charter school in Harlem, and I've been a dream coach for the last 4 years, and now I'm a scholar support specialist for my last year. I've been doing hair since I was 16. I started actually doing hair for real, I can say, during college. I went to SUNY Binghamton. Shout out to anybody who went to Binghamton, doing hair on campus. So I had rollers, I had the head dryer, I had flat irons, I had everything because we couldn't find anyone up there to do our hair. So that's when it started. I had everybody in my dorm room lined up, just getting wash and sets. I was doing locks at that time, I was doing braids. But I really didn't start my business until 2020. And I think a lot of businesses started at that time as well, but I got pushed from one of my friends from college to start. So that's just a little about me. Right now, my life is surrounded towards hair and school. But my goal is to see if I can venture out in the near future to become a full-time hairstylist or to actually open up my own salon where I can have people come working. And it'll be kind of more than that. It'll be like a place where they can actually get mental health services as well. And I was telling Marie that sometimes I have clients who express their deeper inner feelings. And it takes a lot being in this position because people do express themselves. So that's one of my goals in the future, just seeing how I can venture out in that aspect, still being a social worker.
Wow. I love this. We're giving the end of the interview. We're giving it at the beginning, but that's okay. No worries. We're just going to make it work. So that's okay. So you talked a bit about your studies at Binghamton University, right? So why don't you just like walk me through your education a bit? Because I introduced you basically saying that you are a social worker, you are a hairstylist, you are also an entrepreneur. So talk to me a little bit about your education because they're all interconnected, but I also want to hear from you. And good evening, Ms. Ida Phillips. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, so I went to Binghamton, as I said before. I started in 2007, graduated in 2011 with a BA in sociology. So of course, that's dealing with people, dealing with how to learn others. And then I transitioned to Rutgers University for my master's in social work. And then after that, I became a case planner at Grant Wyndham for foster care, which I did enjoy. That was one of my favorite jobs, dealing with the kids. And then from there, I ventured off into the charter school. I do believe that social work is tied into entrepreneurship because it takes a lot to actually be a people person. In this time now, I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot. A lot of people don't have support systems as they should need and should have. And I feel like while being in business, you have to be able to connect with people on a certain level, not just providing a service, just having people understand that they can be themselves here. And here is very big. Like people come here sometimes very shy, have a lot of issues. Sometimes I have clients where they want to have no one else in the shop, which that's fine. But that shows that you have to have that personal connection, that social emotional skills. You have to be competent of who you're working with and the community that you're working with. So I do feel like being getting my BA in sociology and getting my master's in social work definitely helped build the person that I am now to be able to cater to my community and also cater to my women. Because I'm a Black woman as well, and we go through the same things. And it's just very important for someone to actually be here and just be able to connect, not just to get a service done.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But I am going to let you also take me back. Thank you so much for that thorough explanation as well. So you are also working in the school district.
Yes.
And you have this affinity for working with children, the vulnerable population, so to speak, right? How did you even get into social work? What led you there?
Honestly, what led me there, me being a youth worker at church. And I feel like it stems from there, from a lot of people who go to church. I was a youth worker at church dealing with young kids, and just being able to connect the relationships that kids had with me compared to their dominant people in their lives. It was just important to also have a big sister, big brother role, or someone else in your life that you can also have support from. And I felt like I was great with kids, great with teens. And I just took a step. I took a leap. I wanted to be a school counselor, and my mentor from college told me, do social work. It would give you like a broader range of applying to jobs and stuff like that. And I did it, and actually was the right path for me. And now I'm here. I was able to become a dean and being able to continue to give that services to kids in middle school, which I do now. I work for a special ed school in Harlem.
Okay. You want to talk to me a little bit more about your role as a dean, working with children who have special needs?
Yeah, so currently right now, my school caters to students who have IEPs. All my students are on the spectrum, or they have learning disabilities, dyslexia, and so forth. Currently, my position right now is a scholar support specialist. I'm the one who creates the BIPs and the functional behavioral plans for the kids so that when they go off to their next grade, they are having the services that they need. That may be therapy, that may be OT, that may be 12-to-1 classes. So whatever the scholars or the students that they need in school, I'm writing a whole report so that when they have their meetings, they're providing those services for them to be successful in the grade and moving forward. So, and also I play the role as, a dream coach. Actually is called a dean. So when kids are getting sent out and not doing what they need to do, they come to me.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much for looking out for our future men and women tomorrow. It's like so important. And the work you're doing, this is actually great work. I tell folks, when you get into the helping profession, if you're not doing this because this is what gives you joy, gives you peace, and make you come alive when you're doing this work, then don't do it. You're doing it injustice to yourself. Just don't. All right.
I agree with you. We do that at school. So when I agree with something, I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be learning a lot from you tonight. Oh, awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So we started as a social worker. We've been doing here in college, right?
Yes.
Making that money, not even recognizing that God is actually creating a path for you.
Yeah.
I tell folks, we go to work 8 hours a day. We spend, depending on where you're working, you spend hours in traffic. Today, it was a almost 2-hour commute to work, 2-hour commute back. 8 hours in the office, technically, right? I don't like my, 14 hours for the day, right?
Exactly.
That's what you're doing. So if you're getting up every single day, you better make sure that you enjoy what you're doing. Don't wake up in the morning feeling like, oh my God, I got to go to work today.
Yeah.
No, you should get up excited, knowing that you're going out there to make a difference, whatever your profession is. I can't stress that enough to folks. If you're unhappy, that energy is then you're gonna put it out there to the clients or whomever it is that you're serving. Being of service, like I see it so often, and sometimes I just want to give these people a hug when I see how the customer service that you get. If you're so unhappy, leave.
Yep.
Find something that gives you joy. Don't just do it for the money, because I know some of these jobs, they're not paying you enough anyway.
Right.
So then it goes back to me now with your gift. Do you consider doing people's hair as a gift?
Honestly, I do. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a talent. And there's a lot of difference between talent and gift. My family's from Barbados, and my mom got her cosmetology license when she first came to the country. So I legit grew up in the salon. She was pregnant with me in the salon. After school, I'm in the salon. On the weekends, every chance I get, I'm in the salon, swinging the chair, taking the screws out the chair, playing with the mannequins. But I never went to school for it. I never took a class until April 2020 just to see what I knew. But
Okay.
I can watch a video for about 5 minutes and I got it down. As crazy as it sounds, yes. Yeah, and that's why I consider it a gift. And I thank God every day because in times like this, it's really hard to have a 9 to 5 and have a side job. So um, I believe and I know it's a gift. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
I can tell you 2 stories why. You want to hear
Oh,
one?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to be honest because I'm very honest with my clients. So a couple of years ago, a client asked me to do a hairstyle. And honestly, I didn't know how to do it. I was broke, needed the money. And I'm like, oh my God, I know how to do this. So I went on YouTube and I watched for 10 minutes. She was heading to my house the same moment. And I watched for 10 minutes and it came out phenomenal. And she's like, wow, I love it. I said, can I be honest with you? She's like, what? I said, I just learned this 10 minutes. She's like, what? I said, I just learned 10 minutes ago. And because I did so well, I had to tell you because I'm even shocked myself. And she left and came back a couple of years later. You know, she was an older lady. But it just to shows like, you know, I have an eye for certain things. And once I have a visual, I can do it. So,
That is powerful and profound, right? And
yeah.
I'm so happy that you mentioned YouTube, right? There's so many information at our fingertips. And, you know, like in my introduction, I really talked about that fear that
Right.
holds us back. You know, like every time I pass the cemetery, I think about it's one of the richest place. And when I say rich, it's because we have so much people who die who never took that risk
Yeah.
to
Yep.
do what it is that they wanted. They fall into that rabbit hole of doing what society tells them to do or following that path that
Right.
was created for them by their family members.
Right.
So here we are, and living example. Here's a testimony. She's
Right.
talking about walking in her truth, experimenting. This is what life is all about. We don't have to have the answers. Research it, take a class, educate yourself if this is something that you really want to do. So, we took a class in 2020. We all know COVID happened, right? Talk to me about what that felt like for you and your next step into starting Nola Symone.
Okay. So, and like I said, I'm very honest. So I'm gonna tell you how it started.
Okay.
I've been doing hair for years, and I'm the type of person, if you know I know how to do hair, text me, I got you. And one of my friends by the name of Rashina, I'm gonna big her up because now she's a stylist as well. She's a clothing stylist, a fashion stylist. She's doing phenomenal. She was one of my friends who I would always use to do certain styles. So one day I called her over and I'm like, hey, I want to try this ponytail on you. She's like, all right, cool. We did it, came out phenomenal. And then she's like, why don't you make a page? And I'm like, for what? Like everyone can just add me on my regular page, you know, just write me a message. But she's like, no, Symone, people actually need to see the difference between Symone and your business, not you going on a trip and then you doing hair. Like your page needs to be clean. Your page needs to actually show what you're trying to sell. And I'm like, you're right. Because it doesn't make no sense me putting braids and then me playing basketball. Like it's just very confusing, right? So she was like, try it. I was like, all right, I paused just like this. Nola Symone. She was like, what? I said, that's the name. She's like, where you got that from? I'm like, I don't know. It just came to me. And then I thought about it. I had a friend who had a daughter and her name was Nola. And I just fell in love with that name and it just flew out. And from then I just ran with it and I just started doing it. I just did it. I just ran with it. And I said, okay, I'm going to make the page. And from there, that's where I am 3 years later. 3 years later, I'm here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I put one of my questions in the parking lot, but in terms of talk to me about the whole startup, because oftentimes folks or just tell me where you are in your journey. Oftentimes, folks, when we hear about creating a business or being an entrepreneur, I think sometimes folks don't understand the intricacy and the intricate details that comes with this. Going to your local courthouse to obtain a business certificate, right? Getting your LLC, the whole 9 yards. So talk to me about, and also Nola Symone, that is a unique name,
Yeah.
in terms of getting it branded. Did you trademark it? Because again, you want to protect this because this is your legacy that
Yeah.
you're actually building.
Yes.
Talk to me.
So, Nola Symone is LLC. I got Nola Symone LLC in October 2019. And this was before COVID. So I started, looking into it and trying to figure out if I wanted to go this route of being a full-time entrepreneur, or this is something I'm gonna have part-time. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a spot. I was doing hair out of my living room, where my grandmother was walking back and forth. It was just like very different for me. So I started doing it out of my house, and I didn't have a plan, but my motto was just doing it, like taking a leap. Whatever I wanted to do, I just did it. So I ended up getting a spot down the block from my house, thank God. And everything that I wanted to do, I just did. I didn't think about it. I didn't second guess myself. If I wanted to do a style, I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. I took a class in April, whatever, I did it. So that was just the energy I had. And what kind of pushed me back, I thought I had to have a process. I thought I had to have step 1s through 10. I had to follow it in order, and I didn't have to. And I just want to put that out there as well. Sometimes we feel like we need to have it all together. We need to have the name. We need to have the look. We need to have the place. No, you don't need to have none of those things. You just need to have your idea and you having the energy to push yourself to do it. That's just it. So I got my business LLC just to protect myself and making sure I protect my clients, because I do want to venture off in the future. But it's very important to also just protect your brand in all types of ways. So, yeah.
Wow. So to my viewers, if you don't take anything from this interview, you need to just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. We often overthink things. And this is like so true. If you sit here and you're like, you know what? Well, I don't have enough money to start a business. I'm going to wait until I have enough money. 5 years later, you still don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Another 5 years, you still don't have enough money because things happen. Life is filled with challenges and life is filled with ups and downs. And you could plan and say, this is how this is my blueprint. This is my roadmap. Life comes and say, hey, not today. We're going in a different direction. The moral of this story, that was 10 years past. You didn't start that business. That's 10 years you wasted.
Yeah.
Start where you're at now. In social work, there's this saying, you meet the client where they're at. And I think you should apply the same thing in your life.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, once you start it, that's all you need. Give yourself permission. Be bold enough. Have the courage. Be fierce. Take risk. Dive and see where you land. If you don't land on your feet and you fall on your ass, get up. Get over it. Be present. Don't think about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow is maybe. Live in the moment. And your process is your process.
Right.
Symone and I, we're both social workers, and we have the basic ethical standards, but we work differently. And it's okay. Find your rhythm and dance. Don't try to dance like Symone. Be your authentic self. Be bold. So Symone, we started our business. We have our name. We found a location.
Yeah.
How do we stay up to date with the trends in a society that is so
vast.
Yes.
Moving.
Thank you, Machado. See, agreed. We just have to start.
Yes. So one thing about me, throughout this process, being Nola Symone, just being Nola Symone, I've had my moments where I definitely wanted to give up. And we all get there, when we have that whole who's supporting us, all that. And that's not even the energy I want to get into right now, because that's not my goal, to just worry about who's supporting, lack thereof, right? So for instance, if you have a business and you want to put forth that business, my biggest push for you is to just be your number one supporter for now. Be that number one rooter for now. Don't look upon others to do the job that you need to do, because no one's going to love your business more than yourself. No one can be a part of it more than yourself. You can have friends that's down, but no one's ever going to be 100% into your business but you. So tell me what you just asked me again, because sometimes I go on a tangent because I'm feeling it, but
Yeah, that's okay. I was pretty much asking you, in an industry that is so competitive, and every corner you turn, someone is doing hair, right?
Right.
How do you keep up to date with the new trends, the new hairstyles?
Okay. So as I said before, I took a braiding class in April. I know how to braid, but I just wanted to just expand my skills. And I went to Urban Kings, is one of my also friends. She braids my hair as well in the Bronx. She's a hairstylist, a phenomenal braider. I took her braiding class, and she's like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to learn. I want to learn something new." And that's when I learned stitch braids. From April to now, well, probably last year, it's been my biggest fear. I've had clients who have asked me to do it, and I will push back the appointments 2 weeks in it. 2 weeks down the line. And I'm being frank with you guys. It gave me anxiety because I felt like I didn't do it the way I wanted to do it. So I started this challenge thing. So I will put out a style, and if somebody wants to do it, it'll be half priced, and you'll just come to the shop and I'll do it. And that's how I've been pushing myself to continue building my brand, is just pushing myself to do challenges. Even now I have one called the NOLA Challenge, where you can find a style I never did before. And I also share with Marie one of the videos that I recently did that I never did before. So I continue just challenging myself, having clients come with new things. If they have ideas, I want them to share with me. If they have something cool they want to try, I'm always down. So it's not just about me just making money or booking a client. I legit want to learn. I want to build my skills. I want to do something new. So just pushing myself to do self challenges and just challenging my inner talent and my inner gift, just to see what more I can do. So right now I do have a challenge going for the full month of May.
So I think we should show our viewers your skills, right?
Hey.
Talking about what you do, we will give our viewers a chance to see your work.
Okay. No problem.
About me ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can't just snooze and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do. In a drop top ride with you, I feel like Scarface. Like the white bitch with the bob, I'll be your main.
Wow.
And you know what's so crazy? How I'm watching that is bringing me to tears.
Okay.
And this is so strange because
take a moment and center yourself. It's okay. This is a safe space. It's okay.
Because it actually truly shows when you really put yourself forth and do what you said you're going to do, that's what happens. And that's one of my friends, Raven Symone. She has my full name. And she was like, we met probably a couple of months ago. And I did her hair one time, and she has never stopped coming since. And every style she brings to me, it's something crazy. And she sent me that picture and she showed it to you. And I'm like, Raven, what is this Spider Man thing you want me to do? I never did it before. And she's like, girl, I'm coming. We're doing this. And she showed up. She sat here. I'm looking at her like, you want to go now? She's like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm not leaving until you do this style. And that was the result. And it's just like brought tears to my eyes, because just like when you actually, I've never really watched my videos, and that's one thing I don't do. Just to see it there and just to really see that when you really want to do something and you put your mind to it, it can get done. So just continue having faith in yourself and pushing yourself no matter what, no matter what. So
That is freaking amazing.
yeah,
I'm
very
so
different to
happy.
see that on this side. It's like you don't really give yourself credit as much as we do. And as workers, as entrepreneurs, we really don't give ourselves credit until someone has to peel back the layers. And this is what this interview is doing, is actually peeling back my layers just to see the work that I've been doing that I don't tend to talk about all the time. So thank
So
you.
I'm going to push your buttons
Okay.
a little bit. And the tears were good, right?
Yeah.
And it made me feel special to know that you are just being your authentic self here in this space. And this is what I hope to achieve when my guests come here, that they feel safe.
Yeah.
This is a space where we get to look at our excellence. We get to see all of the hard work that we're putting in. Folks, I can't say this and I can't stress this enough. Whatever it is that you want, you could achieve it. But don't forget, it takes sacrifice. Says you're going to have to be dedicated. You're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to be prepared to have sleepless nights, crying nights, feeling solitude. Because once you get to this point in your life where you have it figured out in terms of, this is where I need to be by next week. 2 years from now, this is where I need to do. It's like a ladder. You got to climb around. One ladder at a time, one step at a time, I mean. Oftentimes, we want to skip the process. You can't have progress. I feel like I'm in church now. You can't have progress without process. When the process gets difficult, that's the time you're going to work a little bit harder. That's the time you're going to make it, you're going to be so obsessed with what it is that you're doing. Life is not easy. And sometimes solitude is necessary. When you're walking these journeys by yourself, you could actually hear, you could actually feel, you could actually see, and you could understand your why. Bill Gates, Oprah, they're no different from us. They've been there. They've been in the dark place when that cloud is hovering over them, when they feel as if I can't do this anymore. But they decide they're not going to give up. You are amazing. You're incredible. You're phenomenal. You're fabulous. Be affirming to yourself. You don't need an audience.
Yep.
Solitude is necessary. So give yourself the roses, Symone.
Thank you.
And I hope when I check in with you, because I will, we don't celebrate ourselves enough.
We don't.
I'm going to put that question in the parking lot for you because we're going to talk about it. Okay. And we need to make a plan for that. It's important. You don't have to be able to buy the house, the car, or whatever that big goal is. If you even get up today and you make it to work and you were able to smile throughout the day, or if you had one client,
Yeah.
go home and celebrate yourself. That's a win. I tell people the moment you get up every single day, that's your biggest gift ever.
It is.
Because God did not give up on you. Why do you think you have the authority to give up on yourself?
Right. Right.
And with that, what types of hairs do you specialize in?
Well, I started off doing natural hair, so that's my main love. First is natural hair. My hair is natural. I currently have jumbo knotless braids in, but I do stitch braids, I do faux locks, I do silk press, I do all types of styles. I don't do frontals. That is something that I will be practicing in the near future. I've done it twice and it came out well. But like I said, when I learned something, I get it, but I'm not I'm not comfortable putting it as a service as of right now. But as of anything else, yeah, I do everything. Down from natural to braids with extensions. I do it all ponytails. Yeah, kids' hair. Yes, I do it all.
Love it. Miss
Thank,
Shida just sent you some roses.
thank
Give
you.
yourself
I
roses.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. So I know when it comes on to our hair, this is like our crown, right? And so much goes into caring for an individual's hair. So I am going to put you on the spot and I want to ask you, how do you prepare yourself to go into these spaces on a daily basis? What does that look like for you?
Well, first, I always start my day by praying. One thing I've learned is to manifest. And I grew up in church, but I've never really manifested till like a 2020, like actually speaking about it. And to actually see it happen all the time is it's mind blowing. So I'll manifest what I want. If I want 2 clients, I'm telling you, I get it. Like I had a break last week, and I manifest for just for 5, and I end up getting 6. So I try to pray and manifest what I want. As of right now, I work in Mount Vernon. So I make sure I prepare that the shop is clean. I would either put on the diffuser, I have peppermint oil here, whatever oil that I have. I will clean, sweep, wipe down the materials just to make sure that the energy is right. I do have sage. I'll burn it sometimes if I'm in the mood. Um, but then also I have conversations with my clients prior to this, like what type of hair do they have, any issues that they're facing, any questions they may have. And I always make sure that my clients come with their hair wash. I had a client before who came with their hair wash, but didn't know that she had severe dandruff. So I had to rewash. I had to pick her scalp. You know, it was a whole process. So it's very important to just talk to your clients and get to know them before they come to the shop, just to make sure that you're giving the service that they need. Like I said, it's more to being, and I was telling Marie, it's either you're a braider, or you know how to do hair, or you're a hairstylist. And it's 2 different things. So being a hairstylist is just having hair care, hair intentions, you know, just making sure that you have, you're competent and you have hair etiquette. You know exactly how to deal with hair follicles. You know how to comb hair. You know what products to use. You know what type of hair they have. You know if they're allergic to anything. This comes with a whole bunch of things. Even washing the hair sometimes. And then braiders or people that know how to do hair just, you know, we just do it because, you know, we know how to do hair and it's fine. But it comes more to just doing hair. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for that.
So,
Having a routine, a rhythm that we go by each day is so important. When we're dealing with people and personalities, it gets very tricky and it could go left really easily. Have you ever had a situation where you had a client that was not satisfied with the work that you did?
thank God, no, I haven't. I haven't ran into anyone as of yet. And hopefully I will never come and speak highly of that. But and I gotta give God the glory, because since 2020 till now, I've had returners. All my clients are returners. I've never had any issues with my clients. My clients that have growing hands. So I'm assuming that their hair's growing, which is good. But I've never honestly had any issues. I had clients where we've had to stop and talk and, maybe, pray, or, I've had clients who legit will be sitting in the chair crying, and that's absolutely 100% fine. But I had those type of clients, the ones where they pour their heart out in here. And I'm sometimes like, I don't know what's going on. Like, is this God? Is it me? Like, what's going on? But you got to realize sometimes God moves in the weirdest ways, and he used people in the weirdest ways. And sometimes I'm just learning to just take it as it goes, but never anything negative, always positive so far. So thank God for that. Yeah.
Keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
So Matt just asked, was there ever a time that you had to turn a client down for any reason? You have to think so long and hard. Maybe not.
No. I had to turn down someone that I didn't know. And it's so sad. Social media will definitely kill you and kill your vibe sometimes. And, I was just in social media a lot, just watching a lot of pages and seeing a lot of things that were going on with people who had salons, people who had shops, people who just started a business. And it's unfortunate. This is the world that we live in. People have issues with people. And, I don't have any issues with anyone, but sometimes as the world works, you may be trying to uplift yourself when someone's there upset that you're trying to just uplift yourself. So it was just like a client where I wasn't comfortable with, and in my spirit, it's just like, I don't know. And that's the only booking I didn't do, because in my spirit, it didn't feel well. I didn't feel, that they were serious. And sometimes I just go with what I'm thinking now. Like, I'm learning to go with my gut feeling, especially now I have a business and I need to make sure that this is protecting not only myself, but people who actually are NOLA riders, who actually come to the shop, because it's an open space, So never had to turn down anybody, but I definitely had to second guess clients.
Thank you so much for that. Like you said, let's just manifest that you'll just continue to have positivity around you in terms of your clientele.
Yeah.
Do you have, if you had the opportunity to meet a hairstylist, who would that be and why? That just came off. I just thought about that.
I have a few. Well, I don't need to meet her because I already met her, but Urban Kings, like I said, she's in the Bronx. She's a phenomenal braider. I would watch her do hair all the time. There's a young lady, I believe, by the name Nay Styles. I believe she's located in Jersey. I love her work. I love Magic Finger Studio. I watch all their videos and I use their products as well. But I try also not to look at a lot of people's work, because that can be discouraging as well. And as a business owner and someone who was coming up in business, I always tend to try to look at other things and mimic it. But I realized that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So I would just watch it just to get energy and vibe and like, oh, I like that style. I think I'm going to try it differently. But I try not to watch people's pages because, I'm trying to build a momentum for myself and it's just really easily distracting. Yeah. So
let's go back to social media for a second.
Okay.
I love to say social media has its wins and it has its losses, right?
Definitely.
I think when it comes on to social media, it's like a body of water. You have the swimmers, you have the non-swimmers, and you have the ones who are faking that they could swim, right?
Yeah.
And then you're in the middle and you got to figure out where you fit in this ocean.
Right.
How has social media helped you with your business and even as an individual? And how would you say social media has a negative impact, if so?
Um, I'll start with the negative first, and then I'll explain how it transitioned to be a positive. Um, and in 2020, 2021, since 2020, we all seem to have this thing where people don't support us. We don't have support from our friends. No one's doing this. No one's doing that. I don't have no one in my corner. No one's, booking. No one's purchasing. Whatever business that you may have, we tend to look at who is supporting us from who's not supporting us. And that's one thing I did have an issue with in the beginning. And that's something I had to break out of, because that would deter you from your business. That would deter you from even reaching any goals that you ever want if you continue to count the number of people who are in your circle. And I had to really realize all my clients are new people. I can count on my hand, two hands, the amount of friends that I have who come and support my business, which is totally fine, right? But social media will guide you in a way that would cause you not to want to have your business flourish, because you're worried about the lack of support or who's doing what, and what level this person's on. Oh, this person has two more pictures more than my page, and I just started, so I got to hurry up and get three more. It's always a competition, but you have to realize, like, you're not competing with anybody. You're competing with the person you were yesterday, the person you were an hour ago, even the person you were 5 minutes ago. So it's very important to keep that. And that's where it transitioned to positive. I had to learn that the more people didn't support me, the harder I pushed myself. Like, I realized, like, okay, my friend got her hair braided by somebody else. All right, I'm gonna do this new style. Maybe she'll like it, And if she didn't, I had to realize it's okay. People have their choices, and whoever needs to be in this chair will need to be in this chair. And it's just something that you have to build that momentum to continuously talk to yourself to say, it's okay. You don't support me, it's okay. And you have to realize things are okay. And now I have almost 2,000 followers, which is cool with me. And it's just great to even see my followers growing. And it's even not about the followers, but the people who actually see your work. Because I can have 1 million followers and nobody ever book. So I'd rather keep my 1,767 followers right now, because those are actually my clients. So you just got to realize what's your goal, and how you're going to meet that goal. Is the goal that you want to be the best braider and look good and have over 1 million followers, or you actually want to touch souls and reach people and actually change lives and keep your clients, and build relationships like that in the community.
Love it, love it, love all of what you said. And for folks who are probably still trying to figure this out and they're still chewing on social media, I think social media is amazing,
Yeah.
because I've made beautiful connections from social media. But I think when it comes on to social media, you always have to understand who you are, your purpose, your why.
Yes.
You got to be grounded. If
Yeah.
you're someone who is not disciplined, someone who doesn't have structure, someone who's not organized, and someone who is really not sure what they're doing, they think they want to do something, but they're not really sure, don't go to social media, because you are just that's the death of you.
Right.
Because again, when it goes back to discipline, you could go on social media, and the way the algorithms are, it's so programmed to distract you.
Yep.
So you have to make a conscious decision and say to yourself, what's my why? How do I use social media? So I love social media, but I get on social media very early in the morning. I do whatever I need to do, and I get off social media before 9 a.m. I don't get back onto social media until I get off work. I got home from work. I jumped right into this. I probably won't get on social media tonight, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I understand my purpose. And I have a plan, and I'm working my plan, right?
Yeah.
When it comes on to support, you started this and we started that. We are our biggest supporter, right?
Yes.
I create spaces for myself. And when someone tells me no, I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't meant to be there, and that's not what God wants me to do. And then I figure out, what can I do next? Because even the show, this started from me thinking I did not have support. And I was not at that table to have conversations to like really highlight my greatness, right? And I started on social media, on Instagram. And here I am today. I'm just super grateful, filled with so much gratitude for having this space so I could get a community of individuals like you. So we could uplift each other, we could grow, and we could learn.
Yeah.
So I say thank you so much for that.
And thank you.
But
Good.
I'm going to get into the feelings aspect of it now. What
Okay.
do you like most about your current life, and what do you like least about your current life?
Ooh, these are questions that we don't really think about until someone asks us, and they were like, "Wow, okay." Currently, right now, I love my job. I love my students. I love what I do. I would have been going into my 6th year, coming this school year, but unfortunately, like my school's going through a lot of enrollment and budget cuts. So sad to say they have discontinued slash took out the scholar support team, the behavioral component to each school, which includes my position. So at this time, a lot of us are not returning for the new year. So that is sad. So um, it's just thinking of, what am I going to do? Like, is this a sign for me to go full fledged into business, or is this a sign for me to take a year and work on, myself? So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. So it's just like, that's a difficult piece right now. Just figuring out where I stand between career and business. And I'm so used to having a 9 to 5, and I grew up thinking that that's what life needed to be. Having a business meaning a side job. Like, you need to have your 9 to 5 with the side job. So as I'm getting older now, I'm realizing that being an entrepreneur is a full-time job. It's a fabulous job, and I don't need to be working under anyone or anyone's policies or rules in order to reach the lives that I need to reach. Yeah.
So I'm sending you a big virtual hug right now.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say this, and it may sound crazy. In these moments when we get to self reflect, in these moments when we think our job was secure, in these moments when we realize I'll be laid off, in these moments when we have all these butterflies in our guts and it's haunting us like, what do I do now? Why did they lay me off? Why the budget cuts? But everything happens for a reason.
Sure does.
You're not going to understand it right now because you're thinking life insurance, you're thinking medical insurance. There's so much that's percolating in your brain, and you are probably not fully prepared. We talked about this. You're never going to be prepared, and you're never going to have it all together. But what you have your gift, and you need to be obedient. We need to pay attention to the signs that God is showing us. Oftentimes we pray, and if our prayers are not intentional, sometimes God is not sometimes, God is not going to give you what you think you want. God is going to give you what you need. You could get on your knees and you could pray, God, I need a car. And you pray every day, I want this car. You never get this car. You got a job. That's a start. And I have also learned you got to pray with intentionality. You got to go to God and you have to understand what it is you're asking Him for. And that's the same concept that we have for ourselves. 5 years ago, when I was physically assaulted, 2 surgeries, and I was in a very, very, very dark place. I was angry. I was at my lowest point. And today, I can say that was the best thing that could have happened to me. But I was so distracted by that emotional and that physical pain. So we're here today. It's no secret. It's not no coincidence. It's not by chance that you and I are having this conversation tonight. And God is telling you, well, He's telling me to tell you, it's going to be okay.
Thank you.
Be obedient and continue to believe in yourself. You've been talking through this interview, just do it.
Yeah.
Keep up the same momentum.
Thank you.
Because you got this.
Thank you.
And God, even when we can't feel His loving arms around us, He's always standing by.
He is. He is. Very true.
Trust the process. Kim Watson, the CEO of Grime Wyndham, she's always saying that. I remember when she first started talking to me about it, I'm like, trust what process, lady? Just leave me alone. And now
I see it.
you have to trust the process.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and dance. Be grateful.
And I think that's the biggest and hardest part, is that sometimes you want to see the ending before it even gets there. And we're like, I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't. And, it's just like, it's, and I'm very transparent and I'm very open. Like I always teach my students, like, listen, if you have to be honest, and if you can't be honest with yourself, why are you going out there doing what you're doing? Like you can't be honest with others if you can't be honest with yourself. And that's life right now. Like, it's unfortunate because all my Black and brown students are losing a significant amount of staff members, Black staff members in the behavioral department that they need. So I have an interview on the 25th, so wish me luck, for an associate dean position in the school. So they will be opening back up a position, which you all have the opportunity to apply for. So we see, and if I get it, then that's that. If not, then, I will be in the shop 9 to 9 throughout the day, all day, every week until, whatever God has planned for me. But it's true. You got to keep the momentum. You got to keep positive, because it's very easy to be distracted in a world that's consistently moving. And even the people that are moving don't even know why or where they're moving either. But we're following them, right? No.
Follow a leader.
Going. They don't even have a path for themselves. And it's not to say they are not going to, but we don't know what life they're living. We don't know what path they're running. So just make sure you're always running your own path, because they could be able to pick themselves up. It doesn't mean that you can. So, and that's not your story. Build your own story, build your own fairy tale, and making sure that you write your own ending. And no one has no hands in on that. So that's what I'm just trying to continue to remind myself, just keep doing it. I've never been the type to post. I'm posting everything. I'm just even building your content, just letting people know what you can do and put it out there, no matter what it is. Just put it out there and just continue doing it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. What would you say is your superpower?
Superpower. Feeling people's energy. I'm not even gonna play with that. I really do feel like when I have clients come in here, I know something's going on. I don't know what it is, so I would try to. It's just where the conversations end up leading to be about what they're going through. So I feel like just being able to analyze how people are feeling. I think that's one of them. The feeling fighter. The feeling fighter. I made up a new one.
That's good. That's good. I love it. Symone, it was such a pleasure to talk to you.
It was.
Even my necklace fell off, but that's okay. Nothing is going to stop the show because I'm beautiful, right? Finish the statement. Symone is
Triumphant. Triumphant. That's my goal, to triumph everything that I'm going through, to overcome everything that I'm going through. So, and I will. So, triumphant.
So you fit perfectly into the show. Bold, brilliantly overcoming life disappointments. So to my lovely viewers tonight, I just want to say thank you all so much for the time that you give. But we're just not here because we want to talk and because we're beautiful. We're here to share, provide insights, and most importantly, we're examples that it's all possible. Get out of your head. Stop listening to what others have to say. You are the director, the narrator. You control your narrative. Comparison is the thief of joy. Let go, let God. Fear is necessary, but don't allow it to stop you from taking that step. It is okay. You're going to feel that gut feeling that says, oh my God, what am I doing? Am I crazy? Well, when you feel that, that is your sign that you're doing something good. Don't stop now. Don't stop in the middle of the process. Don't get off Faith Street because you want a detour to say, I can't bother. Life is filled with all these parking lots. And when you are traveling on this journey, it's so easy for you to resort to the parking lot where it's easier. But growth comes from being uncomfortable. Give yourselves permission to go there. It is okay. And Symone, you are blessed.
Thank you. You are too.
God is with you.
Thank you.
Continue doing what you do. Why don't you tell the viewers where we could find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Nola Symone, NOLASYMONE. Yeah, that's my only platform as of right now. And I post things on TikTok, but I don't have a specific page, but Instagram it is. So follow me, share, write to me. I do answer back. I do have conversations with people. That's big. But I'm here if you have any questions. And nice to meet you. And thank you all for being here.
All right. Thank you all so much. And like I love to say, be awesome and have an incredible rest of your night and week on purpose. See you next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Good night, everyone.
About me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody